Hello students. So today we are going to discuss a very important lesson, Wangari Mathai from Infotech English textbook, lesson number 4. This lesson is a prescribed one basically for the second mid examination in R20 JNTUK regulation and also a compulsory question for the semester end examination. So before we go to the topic, let us talk what are the important points that we are going to discuss here in this. We are going to talk about Mathai's introduction, education and family, challenges that she faced in her personal life, the moments she led, awards and rewards that Mathai have got, her philosophy and values, and some books written by her, and some important vocabulary from the lesson, and we will conclude. Why I am trying to put all these details in a nutshell is, this question is a 7-mark question in the final examination, which will really help you to score good marks if you work on these aspects. When it comes to her introduction, we all know that Mathai is an activist. Basically, she loves to be an environmental activist. She is a women's rights activist, a government official, where she won the Nobel Prize for her great approach to sustainable development that embraces democracy, human rights, and women's rights in particular. That means we can tell very clearly that Mathai was a Kenyan political activist and she worked for the rights of women. In fact, she overcame many problems in her daily life just to do service to the constituents, especially to women. In this case, in the year 1977, she launched the Greenbelt movement. The reason behind launching Greenbelt movement is to reforest her beloved country while helping the nation's women. Let's see in detail what's all about this Greenbelt movement, which gives you a good chance to score good marks. When it comes to her education and family, it's clear that Mathai's family is of Kikuyu origin. Well, this point is not very important to put in the answer, but only for your reference I'm trying to tell you. And as a child, she was permitted a small plot of land to grow her own food and to learn how to cultivate the land. So this point is very clear that during her childhood, Mathai was given a small plot of land where she was asked to grow her own food and she was also asked to learn how to cultivate the land. And she attended a primary school at St. Cecilia's Intermediate Primary School near her home, and there she converted to Catholicism. These details are not very important to put in the answer, but as a fact, you must know where she got educated and all about her family. So, Mathai became one of some 300 Kenyans who got selected to study in the United States in the year September 1960. When it comes to her, the challenges, you can see the pictures of Mathai's husband. She got married in the year 1970 and she gave birth to 3 children. Her husband, Wangari Mathai, was also a politician, but who divorced his wife in 1980s. That means she has got her married life only for 10 years. So in the year 1977, Mathai, after the divorce, she ran for the position of chairperson of the National Council of Women of Kenya. And she lost these elections by just 3 votes, but was overwhelmingly, she was chosen to be the vice chairman of the organization. So, shortly after the divorce, her former husband has sent a letter via his lawyer demanding that Mathai drop his surname. So actually her name was Wangari. After she got married, it was like Mathai, but after her divorce, Wangi Mathai wanted her to remove her surname. Let's have a look at the movements that she led. The first and foremost important movement that we have to understand is the Greenbelt movement. Actually, this is a moment which is really very, very important, which began in the year 1977. So, she just started this movement with a handful of seedlings in her backyard. So, it grew to hundreds of trees, nurseries throughout Africa, where seedlings are doled out to women who plant them on both public and private lands. For every tree that takes root, the woman who planted it earns a small sum. So, for many women, tree planting is now a good deed that also helps make their ends meet. So, it's clear why this Greenbelt movement is started. Especially to support women, Mathai started this. So many women who started planting these seedlings, if that seed is grown into a tree, that woman used to earn some money. Therefore, many women wondered decades ago why Mathai was so devoted to save trees. So it's very clear that Greenbelt movement has also nurtured as many women as it has acacias or cedars. So her movement began in 1977, started with just a handful of seedlings, just I told you, in her backyard, and she also helped all the women to take part in this. And you can see these wonderful pictures and also how this movement was blocked. And these are some of the awards that Mathai received. She received the Lifelong Dedication Environmental and Human Rights Award. She received the Edinburgh Medal, and she was honored with the prestigious Nobel Prize. And these are the awards which were given to Mathai because of her service. The only philosophy of Mathai is, like, she gave to the public not to give in any situation, no matter how hard the circumstances are. In fact, this is a very important philosophy that all of us also must remember in our mind. See, we should not give up anything, how hard the circumstances are. So, according to her message, every human being needs to motivate the other to have the never give up attitude to rise up and walk. So though she faced many problems all through her life, like, she had divorce, many politicians obstructed her, she was not given a proper position in the society, but still she didn't give up. She rised up and she walked. So the Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2004 to Mathai for contribution to sustainable development, democracy and peace. So these are some Mathai's philosophies and values. And these are some important books written by Mathai. The Greenbelt Movement in the year 2003, Unbowed, a memoir in 2008, The Challenge for Africa 2010, and Replenishing the Earth 2010. These are some important vocabulary in the lesson where you can understand and identify the meanings. And to conclude, I would like to tell you that Mathai is a pole star because she is a joy-filled, straightforward and practical approach woman who set a wonderful example for many, helping people to acquire new confidence and inspiration. So she always wanted women to rise up how many difficulties they face. That's all about Mathai, my dear learners. Now here I am just trying to tell you how best you can put in your answer without any confusions. So I believe the best way to answer this question is put 8 to 9 statements in the introduction talking all about Mathai's early life, like she was born, she was an activist, she was a Kenyan activist, she was an environmental activist. Well, these keywords will help you to frame the introduction. So when it comes to the body of your answer, you can write all about the Greenbelt movement and how it helped Kenyan women to earn their livelihood. So if you add 10 to 12 keywords and elaborate them in your own words, I believe this becomes a very good body of your answer. And when it comes to the conclusion, it's like you can conclude the answer by telling Wangari Mathai as the pole star. Like she, in spite of her many problems and other difficulties, she could win through her life. And she is awarded with Nobel Prize, and she died on 25th September 2011 at her age 71 with ovarian cancer. So if you have any queries, I'll definitely solve them if you put it in the query box. Also, if you want this lesson to be taught in Telugu, I'll give you the summary of Wangari Mathai in Telugu, and please post it in the query. If you require it, I'll solve your problem. Thank you.